Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Johns, and I have a YouTube channel called Studio Talk, where I talk about all things project recording studio related, and that's a subject matter of my particular channel. Now, you may be watching this video because you watch my YouTube videos and you're interested in maybe pursuing your knowledge about how to do video work, whether it's for a YouTube channel or for other things. Or you may be coming from outside of this whole world right here, and that's fine too. What I'm going to do is kind of document my journey through this whole process, the things I've learned and the things that I've failed on. So I'm going to talk about particular subjects, and I'm also going to give some backstory to it about where I made mistakes, okay? So I hope you enjoy this video series. So let's get to the topic of today. All right, this is my second video in this particular series. The last one, which was the first one, had to do with how to pick the right camera and the right lens for your YouTube channel to get the best results possible, okay? Or at least certainly the best you need for YouTube. So I recommend you go back and watch that. Today, I'm gonna talk about, so camera and lens is super important, right? The next thing that is super, super, super important is lighting, okay? You want to make sure you have good lighting in whatever space that you're recording in or videoing in, okay? You want to be able to background stuff. You want to be able to put things back there that kind of draw attention to some things, but not too much, right? You want to be able to have me, as an example, you in this situation, right, up front and kind of feel like you can almost touch that person. Well, to do that is a combination of lighting, okay? Up in my ceiling, I have all of my lights rigged, okay? Now, I used to have them all on stands. If you're in a tight space, stands are going to become a problem. They're going to get in your frame, and when I say your frame, that is, this thing you're looking at me, that's called a frame. If you didn't know, I'm sure you probably knew that, but I'm going to tell you. You're going to get them in your frame, and they're going to constantly be, kind of your Achilles heel to some degree. I've shot so many videos to go back and like, daggone it, that stupid light stand is in there again. Now I got to re-record it because I won't do it halfway. Or I try not to at least. Okay. And so finally I got the idea, man, I gotta rig my lighting. And that's what I've done. And I'm going to tell you, it's made a world of difference. Now, what lights am I currently using in my studio? Well, I'm looking up right now on a Lightstorm softbox that's powered by an Apogee 120D Mark II, okay, which is basically the LED light that's in it. And you have this big softbox, and that's sitting right now about 18 to 20 inches from my face as I push out like that. And it's 36 inches in diameter, and that's rigged down from my ceiling. And it's coming down. It's basically hovering right over me. And I get that balance set just right. Now back there, you're going to see two LED lights. Well, first, let me go back up here to this particular one. If I remember correctly, now don't quote me on this, but I think it's around $800 for the Aperture 120D. And it's probably another $300 or $400 for the softbox. So you're going to get $1,200. But let me tell you, this light worth every freaking penny. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it now. End of story, done, right? That's why you see most YouTube videos, that, especially stuff that's camera-related gear or video-centric gear, they all use this thing, and there's a reason for it. It's good, okay? So anyway, you look up in the ceiling behind me, I've got quite a bit of different lightings. I've got one, it's a multicolored light that's going down on the background in the back in case I want to change that. I also have two other LED softboxes that are coming straight down on that mixing console behind me. Now, they're not up very high on that mixing console behind me. And there's also some colored par lights that are up there that are kind of coming down at different angles and making more creative things in the background. You can also see these lights back here. That's all to create this three-dimensional feeling or sensation that you have if it's properly recorded. When you see people doing video with cell phone video, you don't particularly get that. Now, the new iPhones, apparently they can give you that bokeh, which is that blurry background that you see behind me. And that's controlled by aperture. More on that later. That's a camera setting, and I'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, lowering that aperture gets the more bokeh in the back. Raising it makes it more in focus, all right? So that's how you get that. These things are important for the overall quality of the video. You also need to have what's called a hair light. I've got mounted back here, pointing straight down on the back of my head, kind of coming down at an angle back here, and that's my hair light. And what that's doing is that's helping separate me from the background, okay? Making me feel like I'm up close and that's further behind me, when in reality, that's only about 3 feet behind me at best, okay? I had to do that. I'd have to go out and get a measuring stick, but I think that's about right. So ultimately, lighting is super important. Now, rigging versus stands. I just did this rigging maybe about 2 months ago. Before that, everything was on stands in here. And this is not a huge space, all right? And so those stands started taking up a lot of real estate, and it was very, very, very difficult to keep them out of frame. Now, if you're in a bigger space and you're doing different spots in different locations, then you probably want to have a stand that's on wheels that you can roll around and set up and then reach over where you've got space to work with. But if you're in a tight space like me and you want that clean look, the ceiling is the way to go. Now, all I did was take 2-inch galvanized 2-inch galvanized pipe that I bought at Lowe's. And then there's these brackets that you can get that's like a T bracket on there where it goes over, and that secures the pipes to each other. So there's kind of a grid up there, right? And so going all the way from the beginning all the way back to this light right here, including I've got a microphone, a large diaphragm condenser right here that I can just lower down when I want to do a vocal take. Wait a minute, you're watching this for YouTube, not audio. Anyway, don't worry about that. So all of my lighting is up in the ceiling. I have found that's worth its weight in freaking gold, okay? And it wasn't that expensive. The rigging up there now, it's probably, kind of redneck engineered, I guess. I don't know. But it works, and it works fine. I'm very, 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 very happy with it, and made a world of difference. It really gave me more space inside this room, getting rid of all of those stands and everything. So I can't begin to tell you how important lighting is, right? So you've got your camera and your lens. That's really going to tell you how you're going to capture it, right? But then the clarity, the depth, the vibe, the feeling, okay? With lighting, ultimately, that's going to get done with your lighting, okay? That's what's going to do that. So a combination of that camera and that lighting is awesome. Now, I've actually got a DMX controller back there. If you're not sure what that is, consider that kind of a mixing board. You know how you got a dimmer on a wall and you turn it up and down? Well, it works off sliders like that. So I can change all of the settings and all these lights from one space. I can change color. I can change moods. So let's say, for example, I want to do something kind of vibey where the background just is darker, what makes me look different. Give me a second, and I'm going to do that for you right now. Bam. See what I'm talking about? Completely different look, completely different vibe, all changed with lighting, okay? Lighting is super duper 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 important. Get your right camera, your right lens, get your right lights, and then find a way to use them effectively, okay? Whether you're using that DMX controller to control things or everything else like that. Now, I probably got a little too much right here on the top, but anyway, you get the vibe. I could really sit and tweak it, but I ain't going to spend all that time. I just know I can do it, and I've shown it for you. So anyway, hope this helps you, all right? Keep watching this series. I'm going to keep putting out videos and share with you as much as I've learned along my way, give you a little perspective and some stories along the way about it, all right? So until next time, I hope every one of you have a great freaking day. Bye.